Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Doing well. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. You know how we start. We're going to make sure we're seated or standing nice and tall, length through that spine. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and do our chin tucks for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right. Now we're going to do our head turns, 5 each side, always coming back to center in between. Ready? Here we go. We're going to lift one shoulder, center, the other shoulder, center. Turn. 3, turn. 4, turn. 5, turn. 6, turn. 7, turn. 8, turn. 9, and turn. 10. Good. Now we're going to go into 30 seconds each move. I think today I'm going to do the warm up completely seated, but you can do these standing as well. The first one is a cat-cow. Okay, so you can either stand or sit. Your palms are on your thighs here for support. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. We're going to do 30 seconds. We're going to round. Ooh, my timer is loud today. And then reach it up. Okay, so we're waking up that spinal cord. All right, we're getting the head and neck to go up and down here. All right. You're sleeping for many hours and laying on our back or our stomachs for many hours. This helps really wake up the body. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Oh, geez, I got to turn that down. That's so noisy. Okay. Next, we're going to do a lateral side bend with a tap. Okay. So here we go. Seated or standing. All right. Reaching through that arm. Nice stretch through the side of the body, a little bit through the groin and inner thigh here. Five more seconds here. And time. Okay, so our next one is going to be our cross tap. Okay, so now we're adding some rotation through our torso here, and we're still lateral tapping. Okay, so now instead of a side bend, it's more of a twist, right? I like to give a strong exhale as I twist and reach that arm out. Good. I'm almost done with these. 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay. Next, we're going to do our butt kickers with a straight arm push back. Okay. So if you're on the chair like I am, your toe tapping back. Otherwise, if you're standing, your butt, your heels coming back towards your butt. Okay. You're getting this nice stretch through the front of the shoulder. We have 2 more exercises after this, and then our warm-up is complete. Five more seconds here. We're going to go to our 4-count cherry pickers. And time, okay? So feet nice and wide, wider than shoulder width apart. This is where we fold forward and we go out, middle, in, up, okay? Out, middle, in, up. Out, middle, in, up. Keep it going. halfway through this one, and then we're on our final warm-up exercise. Good, 2 and time. Okay, our last one is our knee raise and pull down, okay? Seated or standing. Ready? And begin. Here we go. Really nice core work here. Whether you're seated or standing, anytime you're raising those knees, you're working those abdominals, you're working that balance. Our last move in our warm-up, we have 10 seconds left. 2 and 1. Okay, 4 9-minute blocks today, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of transition time, rest time. And remember, that's always just a guide, okay? You can shave off the amount of time you do here if you'd like, okay? By either starting late or stopping early. Okay, so you can use weights for 2 of these movements. We'll keep one of them body weight. The first one is our good morning to our knee raise oblique twist. So we've been doing this one for a while. If you're seated, you're on the edge of the chair, you're leaning forward, and watch, when I'm leaning forward, I'm not guiding with my head like this. I'm trying to initiate right through my hips. So I'm nice and long, right? I'm nice and long through my spine. Okay, so I'm not rounding through it. It's an active hinge. And then you're going to squeeze up, all right? And then you're going to twist over that knee, and then the other side. So our standing is hinge, up, twist. Finding your control, okay? We're not trying to go so fast that we lose. We almost want to try to pause for a second if we can up there, okay? Might be hard to do it every single time to have that pause, but sometimes. All right, the next one is our sit squat, okay? So you can use your weights here. Remember, if we hold them here, or I'm sorry, that's sumo. If we hold them here, that's more of a grip to help with our grip. And if we hold them up here, it's just a little more core engagement. So you pick what works for you. These can be also done body weight. Our seated variation is our alternating leg extension, okay, right here. And if you want to add some weight to your thighs, go for it, all right? It's up to you there. And then our last one, curl press. Okay, seated and standing, it looks the same here, okay? All right, so there's our first 9-minute block. We're going to get started with our good morning to cross-body knee raise. Okay, my first round's always seated, so here we go. You choose if you want to stand or not. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we're going to hinge, up, twist. And then we hinge. And now the other direction. So really keeping that length in the spine, the shoulders back. Okay, you're pushing, if you're standing especially, you're pushing the hips back, all right? And if you're seated or standing, you're thinking of your hips. It initiates from the hips, okay? It's not your head coming down. It's your hips closing. That way we keep that length in the spine. 2 and 1. Okay, we're moving on to sit squats, weighted or unweighted, or your alternating leg extensions for your seated variation. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So if you're doing the seated variation with me, I'm keeping a flexed foot, and I'm really trying to talk to the top of my thigh here and tell it to contract when I'm in that lengthened position. Right, creating that mind-muscle connection. We want to be able to think and feel what we're doing at the same time. Good. This helps build the quad muscles up, okay? 3, 2, and time. Okay, the next one is our curl and press. All right, so pair of dumbbells here, water bottles, or you can do this body weight too. You can just pretend you're holding on to something. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bicep curl it up, and then we're gonna press it up. Our knuckles always stay out to the side. This is called neutral grip. The way my knuckles are, how my knuckles are facing out to the side. And it's a very safe position for the shoulder. Whether you're seated or standing, you're nice and tall through your spine, your core is engaged. Squeezing your glutes if you're standing up. That naturally, if you kind of give yourself a glute squeeze while you're standing, that's naturally going to engage your core. All right, they're kind of synergistic with one another. Good. 3 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, we're going back to the top with our hinge to oblique knee raise and twist. All right, I'm going to move to standing. Stay seated if you prefer that. I'm going to show it from a side profile so you see that length through my spine. I'm not rounding. Remember, it's about the hips going back, okay? Here we go. So I'm going to push my hips back, squeeze my glutes to return, twist over that raised knee. Find your control, find your center. Make that mind-muscle connection, right? We're really talking to the glutes. On the way up, squeeze. And then as you go on that one leg, you'll find you still have to keep that glute under control because you're balancing on that leg. Two and 1. Good. Our sit squats are next, okay? Or your seated alternating leg extensions with or without weight. Here we go. Feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. All right, we're going to go ahead and begin by tapping our glutes down. Drive through the heel, squeeze at the top, okay? Tap, squeeze. You can move at a pace that's comfortable for you. You do not have to keep up with my tempo. Why I like the sit squat so much is it really trains us to push our hips back first. This way our knee does not take the majority of the load. Trains us how to do a squat properly with good technique. Press through the heels. Good. 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, moving on to our curl to press, seated or standing. Okay, and remember to take, it's humid today. Take frequent sips of water if you need water in between, like before we break. Don't wait if you need a sip. Okay, here we go. Core tight, glutes engaged. If you're standing, curl. That's it. Good. Well, past halfway here. We have about 10 seconds left to go here, and then one more round completely through. This first circuit at least. 2 and time. Okay, back to the beginning. So we're going back to that hinge pattern. All right, so that oblique twist, seated or standing. Just remember to keep that length through the spine. Okay, so shoulders back. All right, push through the hips. All right, here we go. Ready? We're going to hinge, squeeze the glutes, come up, twist. Nice and controlled. So I'm not trying to go so fast that I lose the neuromuscular, you can feel that response. Your body has to contract to twist and hold. Okay, if you go too fast, you kind of just go right past the that muscular response we're looking for. Two and time. All done with those. Our final set of sit squats here, or alternating leg extensions. All right, feet are hip to shoulder width apart. All right, optional weights. we're gonna go ahead and begin by tapping our glutes down, driving, pressing through the heel, squeezing the glutes at the top. Exhale up. Exhale, talk to your glutes. Remember, this is your 45 seconds, okay? Quality over quantity. If you do 5 reps and you're like, you know what, we still have some time left, but you know, I need to rest for a second or get a quick sip of water, go ahead and do that. And then just come back, whatever remaining amount of time you have, if it's 2 reps or something like that. I'd rather you see you do quality reps than just trying to, you know, do them for the whole 45 seconds, but them not being, you know, in good form. Okay, time. Last one here is our curl to press. Then we're gonna break and move on for our next circuit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Curl, press, down. So we're getting the biceps with the curl, the shoulders with the press. Core is engaged, squeezing those glutes. So if you're unsure, if you're like, I'm not sure, core engagement, just give your glutes a squeeze, and I guarantee you, it's going to help just engage your core just by squeezing the glutes. Okay, helps protect your lower back by keeping those glutes engaged too, especially as we press weight over our head. Less than 10 seconds here. 2, and time. Okay, there's our first 9-minute block. Let's go ahead and get a drink. All right, I know I need when it's warm in here. We are going to do block 2, going into our lunges, okay? This one is identical to last week. I didn't change this one at all. So your seated option is all on one side. Your seated leg press, okay? Through the heel, press, bring it down. Okay, I'm kind of leaned back slightly. I get that good core engagement by trying to press through the heel while gently lean back. Your split, your static lunge, okay? Right here, right, I have space between the left foot and the right back foot. Like I'm like kind of like the width of either side of the chair. Okay, you don't want to be, you want to have this versus this. You see that? That's going to be a lot. You're going to work too much on balance when we're trying to train the muscle right now. So we want space between those legs, okay? So space between those legs, right? You're going to go through your range of motion. We're going to lower down, drive up and lift. You're pressing through that heel and you're going to feel that front leg work. You may feel the back leg work a little bit. That's fine, especially if you're tight through your hip flexors. You're going to feel that. But your thoughts, your focus should be on engaging that the front leg muscles and the glutes. All right, and then our other one is our side step, front raise, side step, front raise, okay? So a little combination pattern for coordination, shoulder work, all right, glute med work. So here we go. I'm starting with the seated variation for round 1, okay? And so I'm gonna do my seated leg press all on one side. If you're ready to go right to the lunges, please feel free. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. All right, so I'm gently leaning back, press, like I'm pushing something away with the heel of my foot. Good. Whoa, these always get me. I always feel these. Feel my quad working, feel my glute working. 10 more seconds here. Remember, it's your 45 seconds. If you need a little rest, it's okay. All right, we want that quality work. 2 and 1, okay? Shake it out. We got to get the other side. We have 10 seconds to start. Enjoy your rest. All right, get yourself positioned. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, other side. may notice some weeks you feel stronger than others. It's okay to play around with these variations. Maybe some week you're like, you know what, the seated just works better for me this week. You know, I usually do the standing, but the seated works better. It's okay, you know, don't get discouraged. Progress is not always just like this straight line up, right? We kind of have peaks and valleys along the way. And relax, okay? So now we're going to our lateral raise, front raise, okay? So weights or just body weight here, okay? Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1, lateral, front, all right? Getting the shoulders from 2 different directions. Getting the glute med through the lateral stepping. And we're coordination, you know, it's a pattern. We gotta follow this pattern, follow this rhythm. Again, good for our cognitive health. So good for our mind, good for our body. Good, we have 5 more seconds. And time, okay, so that was round 1. We're going back to the top. You can either stay seated here for that seated leg press, or you can join me for a standing lunge if you're not already doing them that way, okay? Now hold on to my chair for some balance. Remember that space in between, and here we go. So we're gonna lower down, drive it up. Go through your range of motion. You do not have to go all the way, you know, if your range of motion through your lunge is right here, and you're feeling challenged with that, that's okay. Work within that range, okay? I'm kind of able to wiggle my toes a little bit on that front foot because I'm pushing through the heel. That way I'm getting not just the quad to work, but I'm getting the glute to work too. We have 10 more seconds on this side. These are a toughie. 2, 1, shake it out. But remember the importance of training limbs one at a time. Sometimes we're a little stronger or weaker on one side than the other. So by training them separately, it helps even out that imbalance. It's just not as big of an imbalance then, because the stronger side can't help the weaker side. We're past halfway, and we're going to go back to those lateral raises, the lateral taps to the front raise. Almost there. My legs are burning. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, relax. Okay. Seated or standing, we have our lateral raise with our side taps to an alternating front raise in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Lateral, lateral. Remember how I tell you, there's that puppet master above us, and we're the marionette puppet, right? Those strings for this movement would be on our elbows, okay? So I don't want you to think of those weights, you know, at your fingertips as what's lifting your arm up, but rather from your elbows, okay? Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a shoulder burn. I know I am. And understand the difference between that, you know, that muscle burn and that acute pain, okay? We want to know when to stop and when to keep pushing. All right, one more round, guys. One more round with our seated leg press or our lunges, okay? Let's get ready. 2, 1, here we go. Drive up. Really try to stay focused. Think about that leg. This is your hour for yourself. You need to pause at the top for a little bit because you're getting fatigued. That's okay. All right, we have 10 more seconds here. That would be where you'd rest though, is when you're standing straight like this right here. 3, 2, and 1. All right, one side's all done. Shake it out. We got that other side to even out. About 10 seconds to start. Okay. Now 5. And in 3, 2, and 1. Let's finish up this side of lunges. Again, pressing through the heel, that front leg. I hope you get deep into the glute muscle. Halfway right now. Good, we are almost there. 10 more seconds. 5, 2, and 1. Okay, all done with those. Now back to our lateral taps with lateral raise to alternating front raise. In 5, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Front raise, front raise. We rest after this. Move on to a new circuit. Now we're guiding up through those elbows. Less than 10 seconds. 2, and 1. Okay, guys, take a break here, get a drink. I know I really need them in between the circuits. If you need more than that, please make sure you're just getting your fluids in. Sometimes water sometimes makes people feel a little icky. Maybe little sips or add some flavoring to it. Okay. All right. Next one. We are doing our hinge and row. We haven't done just these two movements together in a while, but we used to do them frequently. I'm sure most of you are familiar. And I want to show, I told some of you that I would show here's one band option we can start with. If you have some of these TheraBands, okay, or any kind of band, right, that you might have from PT or just from exercise in general, okay, you can step on both sides of the band. My feet are right under my hips, okay, and I'm gonna make sure it's even on both sides, okay. I'm gonna hinge down, row up, okay. So you can see here's a way to use your band, okay? And you might just have to adjust where you're holding the band for tension on there, okay? So here's a banded option for it. I'll show you what that was today. Otherwise, you're using your weights like we've done in the past. Okay, all right, they're both great options. And for seated, I don't think I'm gonna use the band for seated, but it'll be row up, okay, row up, all right? And then after that, we have our sumo squat. So from our seated variation, that's our lateral tap, leg extension, lateral tap, leg extension, okay? And our standing, nice and wide, wider than shoulder width, okay? Knees are out. We're gonna drive it up, squeeze, and then back down, okay? So hitting the glutes in a different direction here, okay? That is our more advanced option. And then our last one is jab, cross, hook, hook, jab, cross, hook, hook, okay? So basically two jabs and then hook, hook, okay? All right, so that should get our heart rate up there a little bit. So I'm gonna start with our seated option here. Maybe I will try my band. RDL row is our first one. I said let me see how it works seated here, okay? So if you're doing it in the seated variation like I am, you're closer to the edge of your seat, so you have room to hinge down, row, and then bring it up, okay? Here we go in 3, 2, and oops, and 1. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to hinge, row, up. Okay, remember we're pushing those hips back. All right. Working the back muscles on those rows. Your back is initiating that movement. Your arms are secondary. Even though you see your arms moving, the muscles that you're engaging first are your lat muscles in your back. They're quite large. It's the largest upper body muscles that we have. 10 more seconds here. 5, 2, and 1. Okay, next we have our sumo squats. So for me, I'm going to do the seated option. So I'm going to do the lateral to leg extension. Okay, otherwise nice and wide with that stance, toes out, keep the knees pushed out. Okay, here we go. Lateral leg, and then the other side. Good. Almost through this one. We have 10 seconds left. 2, and 1. Okay, and now the last one is that upper body kind of core conditioning one. We're going to keep those knuckles right up towards our face here. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Okay, at your own tempo here. All right, 2, 1. Here we go. Keep those knuckles, those fists up high. Protect your face. Jab, cross, hook, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Good. We're almost there. We have 10 more seconds here. Last 5, 2, and 1. Okay. Back to the top. We're going to do our RDL row. Remain seated if that's better for you. I'm going to move to the standing variation. I'm going to stand on my TheraBand here. Okay. I'm going to hold a little bit lower on my band. That's where it's good for me for the row part here. So we're going to hinge it back. All right. Row. Squeeze the glutes up. So we're getting the hamstrings, the glutes, and the back here. That's the back side of the body called the posterior chain. Stay present and try to feel the muscles working. Last 5 seconds here. And time. Okay, next we have the sumo squats. Okay, with or without weight, you can either do the seated variation of the lateral tap, the leg extension, or you're going to go nice and wide, those feet, creating like a V, toes out, and then we tap the glutes down, knees stay wide, drive it up. So it's a different spin on our sit squat here, targeting a little bit more of the outer glute, some inner thigh. So making that nice, strong mind-muscle connection when you're driving up to engage and squeeze the glutes. Again, can't stress it enough, the weight in the heel of that foot is going to really help you activate and turn on those glutes. We're almost through. We have 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and time. Okay. Last one here is our jab, cross, hook, hook. I'm going to do the standing this round. You can remain seated if that's better for you. Here we go. Fists up towards the face here to protect your face. Jab, cross, jab, cross. Almost there, 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. Woo, okay. 2 rounds down. We have 1 more round to go through. So we're going back to our RDL row for the final time here. All right, so either your dumbbells or a band here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hinge it, pushing those hips back, nice neutral spine, row it. And up. You don't have to hinge down as far as I am. If right here is better, see how I'm not quite, right here, I'm going all the way down. If that is too intense, just go ahead and give me halfway right here. The trick is I'm just trying to stay really nice and elongated through my spine. Okay, so we don't want any rounding of the upper back. You're keeping those shoulders pulled back. And pushing the hips back is what helps keep you nice and neutral through your spine. Good. We have 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, all done with those. Last round of sumo squats or lateral tap to leg extension, alternating. Nice and wide with that stance. Toes out, knees in the directions of the toes. We're going to go ahead and tap it back. Drive and squeeze. Okay, so you kind of feel almost like the little bit of inner thigh, kind of like the outside of your glute here a little bit. Really focused on trying to create that mind-muscle connection. I want to feel that muscle contraction as I'm driving and pressing through the heels. I want to feel the glutes contract. Okay. The more we connect our mind to it and, with that continuous effort, the stronger that connection comes. You're going to feel it more and more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, all done with our sumo squats. Now we have our jab, cross, hook, hook, and then we are on to our final block, okay? Here we go, bringing those knuckles up to our face here to protect our face. And we're gonna jab, cross, good, we're almost done. 10 more seconds. And time, okay. Let's take a rest, get a drink. I'm feeling the heat here. Our final block. All right, this is it. Last 9 minutes of work. We are doing our, we're going to do some tricep work, some jumping jacks, and some rope pulls. So you're going to, from a standing position, we're going to hinge again. You can start to see how, like, when we do these hinges, how much they apply and so much that we do. Okay, so I'm sorry, hip width apart here. Okay, pushing the hips back, right? And I'm going to kick back for 3, 2, 1, up. 3, 2, 1, up. Okay. And the reason I put the up in there is sometimes it's just a lot to keep, it's a lot of pressure on the back to just stay bent over for a period of time. So that up is just to kind of give us a little alleviation for the lower back. Okay. From that seated position, it's going to look the same. I'm just going to kick back 3, 2, 1, up. Okay. 3, 2, 1, up. Okay. And then after that, we have modified jumping jacks. If you're advanced, you can throw a couple regular jumping jacks in there. And then our rope pull. Remember, what I want you to think about when we're doing, this is an excellent exercise right here. What I want you to think about is you're like a tree trunk. Everything through here is not moving. Okay, so squeeze the glutes. But it's like, you're really trying to pull. I actually pretend like I'm gripping and pulling something down, okay? And you get this nice, strong pull back, right? Like a pulley, like you're like, you know, raising the flag or something like that, okay? All right, so this is our last block. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to do our 3 kickbacks to our hinge to 3 kickbacks. Okay, remember, that's just to alleviate some lower back pressure from being hinged over that whole time. So let's get ready. I'm going to do the seated variation first. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Begin. I'm going to hinge. 3, 2, 1. Up. Back down. 2, 1. Up. Back down. 2, 1. Up. Good. We've got 10 more seconds here. We're working the triceps, the back of the arm here. 3, 2, and time. Okay, next we have modified jumping jacks. If you're advanced and you're standing, you can throw a couple regular ones in there at your own, you know, free will there, however it feels good. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Whew. Almost there. I always feel my shoulders with these when we end with jumping jacks. Oh man, I always feel them. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, okay. Onto that rope pull. All right. So remember, nice and quiet. You're like a tree trunk. The only thing that's moving are your branches. Okay. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, begin. It's kind of like this cross-body pull. I kind of reach across and pull back down. Try to put a little intensity behind it. Really feel my back muscles fire up here. Really good for posture. Whew. 10 more seconds. Remember, it's like a pull back, pull down. So you're thinking of pulling down, pulling down, pulling down, and time. Okay. Ooh, that was round 1. Gonna move to standing. They're sneaky. They're one of those ones that like you don't think that they would be that challenging, and then you're like, oh, that kind of got me out of breath. At least that's how I feel. Okay, back to the top. We have 3 kickbacks to hinge. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna push it back. I'm gonna kick back, kick back, kick back. Bring it up, back down. You kind of have to row it. I should have made that clear. Kick back, up. So when I go back down, I have to pull my elbows back first before I go into my kickback. 2, 3, up. So I hinge it down, row it up once, and then 3, 2, 1, up. 2, 1. Hopefully you're feeling the burn in the back of the triceps. I'm feeling it with my water bottles here, just slightly. And time. Okay. And we are on to our modified jumping jacks. Your advanced, you're gonna throw a couple of regular ones in there too. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, here we go. And then you can also do these leg raise ones here too, right? So you can either tap it, or bring the whole, you're trying to guide through the heel of the foot if you're doing it like this. Whew. Almost there. This feels like a long 45 seconds for me. These jumping jacks, they get me. They do. Less than 10. 2 and 1, okay? Rope pull, all right? I'm gonna show from a side view here, okay? And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm tight through my core. I'm squeezing my glutes. Pull back. So it's not like a lifting up. It's like a pull it down. Pull it down. I'm trying to rip something off. Rip something off, right? Pull it back. And if you look at my arms, I'm a cross, 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 cross. Good. That's it. Working those back muscles. In your upper body, your back muscles, your lats, they're the largest muscle group in your upper body, okay? So the more we train these larger muscle groups, that's where we become more metabolic, all right? Burning more calories at rest. Whew, okay. One more time through, okay? One more time through. Your heart rate might feel a little elevated right now, okay? So last time with those kickbacks to stand, all right? Here we go. And begin. We're gonna hinge it, row it once, kick back for 3, 2, 1, stand. Lower, row, 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 3, 2, 1, and stand. Okay, all done with those. Last round of jumping jacks. Let's get ready for these. Modified. Your advanced, add a couple regular. Here we go. Ready? Begin. Final set. Pass halfway. Almost there. Less than 10 seconds. 3, 2, and time. Okay. Whew. Those rope pull downs. Okay. Final set here. All right. Remember, nice and quiet through the whole trunk of the body. All right. Core is tight. Squeeze the glutes. If you're unsure of what that really means, just tuck and squeeze the glutes. You kind of scoop. Okay. Here we go. Let's pull back and down, pull back and down. So we're not focused on the lifting of the arm as much as a little bit of intensity as we pull it down. We pull it down with a little bit of gusto there, a little bit of oomph, a little power behind it. Like you're ripping it down, right? 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and time. All right, guys, go ahead and get a drink. We're gonna go ahead and cool down real quick. And I'll just start. I always like to start with this neck and trap stretch. All right, so I'm just going to press and pull, seated or standing for this. All right, just enjoy that nice stretch out of the neck here. Breathe. And when you're ready, let's do the same thing other side. All right, and then when you're ready, you can either, if you're standing, maybe you can lift your foot up on your chair, some kind of a stair, an elevated surface, and you're going to give me a hamstring stretch here. If you're seated, just go ahead and come to the edge of your chair, hold on to your chair, and try to lean forward and feel that stretch there. I'm going to keep mine standing just because I'm like super, my hamstrings are not tight, so I need to kind of get the most range I can out of them. My hip flexors are more tight than my hamstrings, I would say. All right, and then the same thing on the other side. Good. All right, let's go back to an upper body stretch here. So we're going to go ahead and cross the shoulder across the body here, seated or standing, okay? Trying to feel a nice stretch. Visualize the stretching of your muscle fibers behind the shoulder blade, but you're also going to feel that stretch through the front of your shoulder here, okay? But think about that back side, okay? Pulling and lengthening and breathing. And then the same thing other side. Good, we're gonna go ahead and do the groin and inner thigh here. So you can either come seated on the edge of your chair, okay, come nice and wide and like bend and feeling that stretch through the inner thigh here. Or if you'd like to do a standing variation of it, you can hold on to the back of your chair. You're gonna feel your glute work a little bit more as you're kind of pushing that. And see how I'm like folding forward a little bit? I'm not too upright here. I'm allowing myself some room to fold forward, and I'm feeling that stretch through the inner thigh here. You can even like just kind of like I'm just resting. Okay, it's all about the stretch in that elongated leg, okay? And then when you're ready, come back to center, okay? And then do it on the other side, whether you're seated or doing the standing variation like I am. Feet are nice and wide here. Feeling that stretch through the inner thigh and the groin. All right, bring it back to center. Walk those legs in together, and let's go ahead and we're going to inhale up, palms together, and exhale to heart. And one more time. Inhale up, palms together, and exhale to heart. All right, guys, another class in the books.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.